So to coincide with the launch of the new DJI Air 3S, we now have a new DJI FLY update for the Mini 4 Pro. So I'm going to be testing this on the DJI RC2, but it also brings a really exciting feature. So you'll see this update available when you turn your DJI Mini 4 Pro on the RC2 or on the DJI FLY app on your phone as well. And this is version 04.01.00.00. So this update is available on the DJI RC2 or also if you're using a phone on iPhone or Android as well on the App Store. So what does this bring? Well, this says it adds support for the new DJI Air 3S, and what a drone this is. If you've not seen my launch video that I did yesterday, go and check it out at the end of this video. But wow, this is fantastic. I absolutely loved the DJI Air 3, but now the DJI Air 3S, this is certainly my favorite drone. It is so powerful with the tele lens on here, the 1-inch sensor. Oh, it is brilliant. Go and check it out. But remarkably, right, so it's so vague, isn't it? It says it adds support for the DJI Air 3S, fixes a few bugs. It's like, yeah, we've heard all that before. Nothing great, let's skip over that. But it actually gives you a new feature for the DJI Mini 4 Pro, and that new feature is from the brand new DJI Air 3S. They really didn't hang around in giving you a feature from this drone. Let's talk about it. But first, how do you actually get this update? What you want to do is you want to turn your DJI RC2 controller on, turn your drone on, and automatically you should go onto the controller and you see a pop-up on that home screen saying new firmware update available. Just click update and it should work. Obviously connect to Wi-Fi if you're out and about, connect to your Wi-Fi hotspot on your phone. But what about if that doesn't work? Because sometimes it gets like lost and it doesn't automatically give you this update. If not, don't worry, all you've got to do is click on Profile, then click Settings, and then you can click Check for Firmware Update. And if that doesn't work, just scroll down to where it says About, and then click Check for Updates there. One of those three methods should work. If not, sometimes it gets like delayed in certain countries, but it will be available everywhere really soon, don't worry. So I've not actually phoned the DJI Mini 4 Pro for some time. It's not been gathering dust, but it has been such a busy time using the DJI Air 3S, testing that out along with loads of other products as well. Such a busy time of the year. But it is great to see that even after like, what, a year later, there are still firmware updates and new features being pushed out to this drone. It is great. And one of those features is this new tracking mode. So this brings that new feature from the DJI Air 3S, and this is the auto aesthetic tracking mode. Now it's not going to be as good on here as on the Air 3S. This has that new processor, and also for tracking you can use the 70mm lens so you can get much closer. So for actually locking onto objects it's going to be better on the Air 3S. But also remember, when you're doing any sort of tracking, you could be limited because like in the EU, your distance has to be within 50 meters. So if you're tracking a car, you can't be further than 50 meters away with your drone. It's quite annoying. So what does it do? Well, basically, as soon as you actually turn your drone on, you'll see this icon in the left-hand side now of the screen. And it's like a little square with a dot in the middle. So you click on that. So what this does is it will automatically analyze that area, and it will actually detect things it thinks it can track. This could be people, could be vehicles, it could be objects in that area. And then you have a couple of choices. But basically what this is doing, this is preventing you actually dragging your finger on that screen and actually selecting subjects yourself. That's what we used to do all the time. If it was a car and you wanted to track, you would drag a box around it. Basically, this is taking that away. You just click that button, it will auto-identify it, and then you can then straight away click active track, and then it will start tracking it. But you also have another option as well, but this is where it's getting a bit of confusion. Now we have this on the DJI Air 3S, and because it's not like publicly added into any of these firmware updates, any instructions, people are getting a bit confused what this is, and it is, you know, a bit cautious in the way you use it. So you actually click this button, say it identifies a vehicle for instance. You click the C1 button, it will pop up. Now if you click that C1 button, it will go into auto mode. So the drone will automatically start to track it. Now what it wants to do, it wants to then move into the aesthetic tracking mode. So this is basically like master shots. It's a better quick shots. And what the drone will then do is it will start to do different angled moves. So it might go to the side of it, it might go behind it, it might try and go in front of that subject to get these like aesthetic type of shots. Now I found when I was testing this that on vehicles it really doesn't work very well. In that situation you want to just use a normal tracking mode where you identify that vehicle and then you go to active track and then you select on that clock face. You want it to track it from the side, the bottom, the top corner. That is what you should be doing for vehicles. If you actually just select aesthetic tracking mode, it's going to automatically try and do all these like different angles, and the vehicle's going to be going too fast for it, especially on that Mini 4 Pro. So this feature is actually for basically slow moving objects. So people, you might be riding a bike pretty slowly, you might be running. In that situation, I was using this on the Air 3S and it worked great. I was able to just walk on this path and it was getting different angles of me, all automatically without me having to do anything. I literally just walked with a controller in my hand at my side. It was fantastic. But make sure you're using it in the right use case. But it is still fantastic that this drone, over a year old, still gets this new feature from the brand new DJI Air 3S. Unbelievable. Now, in relation to everything else, these fixes known bugs, nobody really knows what that is. But if you've been having any issues with your DJI Mini 4 Pro relating to the DJI FLY app, then hopefully this will sort it out. But only DJI really knows what fixes known bugs is. But I will just go through quickly and show you some of the settings that I select and make sure that are correct after every single DJI firmware update. Okay, so if you go into your settings menu, you'll see obstacle avoidance action. So I personally have this always set to bypass. I rarely ever use brake. Now, sometimes I will use off if I'm flying through an object, maybe under a bridge, something like more cinematic, more risky, I'll turn the sensors off, but 90% of the time it's on bypass. And for bypassing options, I'll keep it on normal. I don't really want to risk the drone by having it on nifty. I've always got my radar map turned on and advanced return to home. So I always have this set to preset. So by default, it's set to optimal. So what the drone will do is it will find the best route back to you. But this could be like low to ground. It could be around trees. I personally don't want to risk that. I just want the drone, if it loses connection, just to go straight up in one swift motion and then come straight back to me. Really boring, but it's safe. So make sure I just set that to preset, and then I'll have the return to home altitude taller than the highest object in that area. And then everything else, I make sure my AR settings are all switched on. They're fantastic. Max altitude is going to heavily depend on your country. So 120 meters, 400 feet is like the norm for majority of countries around the world. If you do have permission, you can go higher than that, but at your own risk. Everything else, really, nothing's changed in relation to the safety settings, but go right down to the bottom of this menu and just make sure that that's set to return to home. Once, years ago, and this is why I always check this, for some reason it was set to hover. So the drone, it lost connection. I was like, why is it not coming back to me? And it was just hovering in place, you know, like quite a distance away. So I always make sure that is set to return to home. So if it disconnects, there's a problem with it, it's just going to come straight back to you. It's definitely worth checking this pretty much every single flight. And then under camera controls, do you use D-Log-M? Do you use normal color profile? If you've got like my DJI Mini 4 Pro LUTs and you like color grading, use D-Log-M. That's going to give you the very best in terms of quality. Or if you've never used color grading before, you don't really want to get into that, just select normal as your color profile. Now scroll down to the bottom here, you'll see style. Now sharpness, I'll turn this down to -1. It's far too sharp by default. A lot of the time I might have it at -2. But don't have it at 0. Your footage will be far too sharp. So it is great. We do have this new feature here, kind of like snuck in. No one really was told about this. So it's great we have this on the DJI Mini 4 Pro. But if you've not actually checked out my video yet on the DJI Air 3S, go and have a watch of that after this video. It is a great drone. And for Mini 4 Pro owners, if you've not picked up my DJI Mini 4 Pro cheat sheets, these are now back in stock. So you can go and get these straight away on my website. These go through all the different settings on the Mini 4 Pro. You've always got these with you. Come with a carabiner clip so you can attach these to your bag. These go through every setting so you can get the very most out of this drone. But as they're now back in stock, this is a great time for picking these up if you want to get them for somebody for Christmas, maybe for yourself, a gift for somebody. This would be great. I'm not sure when the next batch will be, so if you want to guarantee Christmas delivery, I know it's pretty early still, but this would be a good time to pick these up. So these are going to be available on my website if you want to go and check these out as well. So thanks so much for watching. If you've got any more questions on the Mini 4 Pro on this update or anything on the DJI Air 3S, for Air 3S, follow up on the launch video, probably the best way of getting in contact with me. But with regards to the firmware updates, let me know in the comments down below. Have a fantastic day. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this. Subscribe because we've got so many more videos coming. It just never stops. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.